All right, Shalom. Want to say call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS that rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I got this video from Apostle Elder Round Lob. It's like an 8-minute clip. I'm going to play some of it. This is just educational purpose only. I'm not making any money off of this. It's just to show that when you bring out the scriptures from the Bible, you have indicators to let you know who was who, what is what, why this is happening, and we're foretelling it before, but which it goes into the word prophecy. Prophecy is to tell you something that's going to happen before it takes place. So now all the things that's happening on the planet Earth, because of the rulership, the current people that's ruling are wicked. So look, when you get the book of Job 9:24, it says what? The earth, the planet, the earth, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And that's an indicator right there and let you know who's running society and who have a major influence on the world right now, on the planet Earth. It's Edom, Esau, the top elite families that has set the status quo on the planet and try to bring it around the world, man. That's why the other nations are mad at this devil, because they drunk enough his philosophy. They all agree with his way of doing things. And now they're starting to wake up from their Babylon juice. They're starting to wake up to like, look, this is not what this is. We didn't sign up for this. And now that's why you see these other nations and things that's happening in the Middle East. And on the planet Earth, this happened, man, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He was going to rule in wickedness by all means necessary, by any means necessary. So the so-called black people are not, or Mexicans or Puerto Ricans or Native Americans are not in total control of the earth. It wasn't given unto us. It was given unto us for its paradise and having the kingdom to come to be on it. This day and age, in these times, it was given to the hand of the wicked. Edom, Esau, the so-called white man, got that blessing. He got that sword and the blessing back in Genesis. So he's ruling he's ruling basically with an iron fist. But here it is, his rulership and how he got it, and all the violence and the bloodshed upon this place and around the world. Shameful spewing is coming against him right now. And that's what this video is telling me through the spirit, and got a few scriptures to go with it. Nonetheless, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. They went into the Bible. When you get 1 Maccabees 3:48, they thought to paint the likeness of their images. So the people of the Bible are dark-skinned people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And this devil who's in rulership set up people to illustrate or paint images such as himself. That's why you have the so-called white image of so-called Jesus Christ up today, to paint the likeness of their images, who covereth the faces of the judges thereof. The true judges are dark-skinned people, man. The angels, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the Israelites. So he covered up the faces, the prophets. He covered up he covered up and painted over the true prophets, man. Those are the true judges that the Lord say here on the planet Earth to tell you and warn you of things to come, and tell you that the Heavenly Father Yahweh is sending His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, with the holy angels to come back and to cause havoc upon this place because of idolatry and wickedness that continue to run rampant on this earth, man. There's too much wickedness that's going on the planet. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he, man? The whole earth is in the hands of the wicked. The hand represents power. You see, America go over to these other countries. If the negotiations doesn't go right, next thing you know, war breaking out. The earth, the whole earth is in the hands of the wicked. And the Most High blinds the eyes of the judges. If he's not the one who does it, if he's not the one who does it, who is he? Who is this person or this group of people or this race of people that has the power that was given unto them they're blessing. Who else is doing it? The so-called Africans, Asians, Chinese, so on and so forth, Japanese, Vietnamese, Hawaiians, so-called. They're not doing all this. They're not painting the likeness of their images. In their country, they do what they do. They don't plaster it all over the world. This is the only country that plastered so-called Jesus Christ all over the world, man. And have blinded the minds of the people. But nonetheless, when you go to the book of Habakkuk, in this video, you will see the hypocrisy and the shameful spewing that is coming back upon this place, because this place was gotten by violence. And you get something or nation that taking another nation by violence or the land, shame and embarrassment is coming upon them.
We're learning more about that deadly strike on an Iranian school that killed at least 168 children and 14 teachers. Two sources briefed on the preliminary findings of an ongoing military investigation tell CNN the U.S. military accidentally hit the school. The sources say the mistake likely occurred because of outdated information about a nearby Iranian naval base. Joining us now, CNN State Department reporter Jennifer Hansler. Jennifer, I want to start with you. What more did this initial investigation find?
Well, Wolf, according to these two sources who were briefed on that preliminary finding of the ongoing investigation, U.S. Central Command had used this outdated intelligence from the Defense Intelligence Agency to compile the strike coordinates for this deadly strike. Now, these strikes happened on February 28th when they were targeting an IRGC base in Manab, Iran. However, back in 2013, the base and the school were all part of one compound, according to satellite images. 3 years later, images showed that a fence had been constructed to separate the school from the base. And fast forward, Wolf, to December 2025, there was imaging of school children, people milling about a courtyard, potentially playing in that courtyard. Now, the Defense Intelligence Agency said that there was an investigation ongoing. They would not comment further than that. U.S. Central Command pointed to that ongoing investigation. But Wolf, all of this supporting the growing evidence that the U.S. was behind that deadly strike on the school.
See, and then Trump has said they investigating Iran and said they did it. Now they're saying that America did it. Children is in the school, and here it is, you sending missiles over in that, to hit the children over in that school. Now it's war, I understand, but you saying Iran did it, and you're investigating them, but now it's coming back on that you did that. You hit the school, man. The hypocrisy and the level of this wickedness that these people wallow themselves in, if you will, man. They soak themselves in wickedness and they lie upon each other. So now their tongue is falling amongst themselves. Roughly paraphrasing, I think that's in the book of Psalms.
That killed some 180 civilians, including those 168 school children. And there are growing questions now as to why that outdated intelligence was used to compile these coordinates. There is a group of Democratic senators who have pressed the Defense Department for answers on this, but this is an incredibly costly error in terms of civilian lives if it does play out in that final investigation that the U.S. was responsible for this, Wolf.
All right, Jennifer Hansler at the State Department, thank you very, very much.
The preliminary findings of the U.S. military's investigation into that strike on a girls' school in Iran, which blames American targeters who sources tell us likely used outdated information about a nearby naval base accidentally hitting the school. You can see on this aerial photo how close the school is to the military facility. 168 children, 14 teachers were killed, according to the Iranian state media. CNN's Kristen Holmes asked the president about it.
A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it. You'll recall he's not always been so reticent.
Mr. President, did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 170?
No, in my opinion, and based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Nixon? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
You hear that?
We think it was done by Iran.
Can you give us an
inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Unbelievable.
You'll notice the Secretary of Defense, what he calls the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, did not confirm what the president said, that it wasn't the U.S. He just said it's being investigated and that Iran targets civilians. That is the president on March 7th. 2 days later, when it became clear a Tomahawk cruise missile had hit the school, the president claimed that Iran had them as well, which is apparently not true.
What do you make of the fact that it was potentially based on outdated information? Is that normal?
Unfortunately, it has happened before. I was working on the Balkans at CIA when there were parts of our team that provided the information that led to the erroneous strike of the Chinese embassy in Belgrade, right? People were just devastated by that, but they were using old maps. But, back then in the 90s, we didn't have Google Earth. We didn't have AI. And so the idea here that we're hearing is that DIA, which would have responsibility for doing this, did not update that target list. They had old information. So you can imagine at the beginning of this war how quickly it went and how that information that we were going to do this came down very, very quickly to the operational level. And we've hit 5,000 targets, I think is the last I've heard, to update the target packages. Some of these packages like where you have the imagery and you determine this is something worth striking, these can be very old and they need to be refreshed. But this school was around for 10 years.
10 years, they're going off for wrong information. And here it is, you saying that Iran did it, man. This is Habakkuk 2:16 in the NLT. But soon it will be your turn to be disgraced. Come, drink, and be exposed. Because when you drink too much alcohol, you get to acting a fool and you expose yourself, man. Your true colors come out, basically, as they say in the world. Drink from the cup of the Lord's judgment. And that's what's happening to this place, man. It's drinking from the cup of the Lord's judgment. And all your glory will be turned to shame, you see? And that's what's happening right here in the KJV. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, Habakkuk 2:16, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. And the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on the glory, man. Right. When you spew something out, it's like you spitting it out or you vomiting. And the shame is like, everybody know what shame is, an embarrassment. So right now, this place is an embarrassment and it's losing its honor that it once had, man. Its glory that it once had. Look, any nation that builds power through violence, such as Esau, and that was his blessings, is he got blessed with the sword. So any nation that build power through violence, pride, or extortion, after a while, man, all this stuff is going to come bite you in your ass, man. And you can't keep your glory that you once had when now all this stuff that you've done is coming back on you, man. You see? You can't control or build power through a nation and build it off violence and pride or extortion. Shit, after you do that, man, your glory gonna start coming down at the end of the day. It's turning into shame, into a public disgrace, because they telling you that, look, you got outdated information. The school been there for over 10 years. At one instance it says, well, we go investigate it, or Iran did it. On the next instance, you said Iran was like, well, look, you guys did it. And now it's coming out that they, took out their school with them children in there, man, and the staff and so on and so forth. So shameful spewing is coming out towards this nation. This is all in the Bible, man. This is an embarrassment upon this place. You're supposed to be targeting or going after your so-called enemy, but here it is, you're targeting schools. And hey, ain't no love in war, I understand. You lying on TV saying that, no, we didn't have anything to do with it, or it was Iran, and come to find out you did it. And again, what it says here, but soon it will be your turn to be disgraced. You've been talking crap to them about people in these other countries for decades, man. Now everything is coming back on you. Now it's an accident that you did this.
So this is a major, major mistake. It should have been caught. It should have been refreshed. And frankly, I hope, and I feel terrible for the people who provided that information, but we need to learn from this and make sure we're using AI and all the tools to prevent this from happening again. But I have to agree with the administration that while this is a huge, horrible tragedy, the United States military and the intelligence community does try very, very hard to prevent it. But mistakes happen and lives are lost.
Now it's a mistake.
Andrew, as you look at this, I mean, they've said that it's under investigation. I mean, there are questions of how long that takes to play out. Obviously, it's one thing for them to come out and acknowledge responsibility, but CNN investigations, the New York Times, Reuters, many other outlets have done preliminary findings themselves that can show geolocated images that point to U.S. responsibility.
See, everything is coming out on this devil, man. You took this land by violence, and your pride is on an all-time high, and the pride is going to bring you down, man. That's why it's now you having a basically you've been shamed in public now, and the whole world sees it. That's why it says in the book of Proverbs 16 that pride goes before destruction. That's what's happened upon this nation that you're seeing, man. The Lord is systematically bringing this place down, man, and people don't even realize or they even see it. You can't build a nation by power through blood and violence and extorting other nations. Pretty soon, that ain't gonna last too long. So everything you've done is coming back on. It's being spewed out. It's being looked at and being shown, man. You see? And judgment is coming upon this place. So you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans better get right, because this place is turning into a shame, and they're doing it, and it's happening in a public disgrace. Because, again, pride goes before destruction, man. So this is a warning against arrogance, exploiting other nations, and pride, man. And that's the so-called white man at the end of the day. It's a warning that's going out unto you, man. And the Lord sent his men, the apostles, the bishops, and the men on down, the prophets, to tell you about these things. This is Jeremiah 13 and 26. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. I myself will strip you and expose you to shame. That's spiritually happening right now at the end of the day. You saying Iran did it, now come to find out you did it, man. But this pompous pride of this devil who's been ruling so long don't think nothing can happen to his nation, man. See, they thinking AI is going to save the day, or it's going to lead them into the next so-called frontier. You know? That's not going to take place, man. This place is going down systematically, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans better wake up out of sleep and cleave into your power, man. Because when all hell breaks loose, and it's going to, and see, look, so much stuff coming out. Now they're going to have a draft. They go draft you little YNs over into this war. You see? And everything is coming out on this devil. He go strike with what it says. The devil should come down having great wrath. That's what he's going to do, man. To try to cover up the shame that's being spewed out on this place. And the people that run this place. Now, you people here need to quit being so goddamn stupid and gullible and wake up and see it's happening right in front of you, man. So the Lord is lifting up this man's skirt to show the world the shameful and the pride and arrogancy of this devil. And the whole time he's been doing this, now you're starting to see that, because the brother was telling me earlier today that a lot of troops don't want to go over there and fight, because people got cell phones now. They know about the men of the Lord. They watching the news and what's going on, man. And it's a shameful thing that you got a nation of people who signed up for you and don't even want to go fight because they see it's all BS. So your skirt is being lifted up, and now your shame may appear.
Evidence is overwhelming. I mean, even at this early stage in the investigation, we can only hope that the investigation will continue to a reasonable and fact-based conclusion, and that it will be shared transparently with the country and the world.
Yeah. Andrew McKay, Beth Sander, great to have both of your expertise here.
That devastating bombing of a girls' school in southern Iran. According to an ongoing military investigation, the U.S. was responsible, and outdated information could be to blame. You're a member of the Intelligence Committee. You're briefed on all of this.
So
what information are you receiving,
you.
First of all?
Take accountability, as one say. This is Luke 14 and 11. And this is the red letter, meaning this is Yahweh Shai speaking. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. You see? That's what you're seeing happening before you, because this devil been riding so high on a hog till he think nothing can happen to him. America, all this old crap. The few, the proud of Marines. So for those who exalt themselves will be humbled. And that's what's happening right now before you. That's in the NLT right there. You being humbled, man. Because of the arrogancy and the pride and the way you've gotten this land, man, was ill-gotten gain. And you still have the Lord's people in captivity over here, man. It's in the book of Exodus, I think 16 and 21. If he be found in, let me see something real quick. This is, I'm sorry. No, I think it's 21 and 16. Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, who stole us? Who came and got us and sold us? The Africans got together with the Arabs, and so-called white man came over on this slave ships with the so-called the small hats had something to do with all that. To get the ships and things and all that nature. Ferdinand, Isabella. Then Christopher Columbus came over here. So this, all of it is coming out. And now we the Lord's people, we still being found in our captives' land. This is not our land. Our people was here, the natives were here. But we going back to the Middle East, man. Our place, man. The real biblical Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we've been sold and kidnapped, man. And we can't even speak out against it. They want to do some harm to us, but we the one being fucking kidnapped. We ain't kidnapped no goddamn body. And we're still over here in this land, man. And you got to pay for that, because the Lord said don't touch, roughly paraphrasing, the apple of his eye, man, which is his people, the Israelites. Kidnappers must be put to death, whether they are caught in possession of their victims. You're going to be caught in the possessions of us, we're the victims, because you ain't let us go out this land. So when Yahweh sent his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, with the holy angels to come back to deliver the elect of his people, we being found in your hand, man. That's why Lord go demolish you at the end of the day. You kidnapped a whole nation of people, you so-called white people, man, on cargo slave ships, and you want to talk shit and threaten the men of the Lord and do harm to us. You kidnapped us, man. The hell are you talking about? They are caught in possession of their victim's hand, have already sold them as slaves. We still here, man. We are the children of the ancestors that you put our people into slavery, man. You ain't let us go. You've been trying to hide this information, but you forgot the spiritual part of this information going forth to wake up the Lord's people. You try to suppress it with money. But you the kidnappers, man. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, we gonna be found in your hand when the Lord come back. Let's go pay your ass back double, man. He says, surely be put to death. So right now, everything that you've done and doing is starting to come out, and you being exposed, man. And the world's starting to see it. This is Luke 14 and 11. Yahweh Shai speaking, because it's red letters. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And that's what's happening. You got so much pride and exalt yourself up to be like the Most High. That's, I think in the book of Ezekiel, you trying to be as the Most High. There's scriptures on that. There's scriptures on that. So since you exalt yourself up to being like, you want to be like the Most High, now you're being abased. And this shameful spewing is coming out upon you.
About this.
Well, I have very deep concerns about how this site was targeted. Obviously, it was next to naval operations, but even in New York Times reporting this morning, they were able to see the site clearly in publicly available data that shows this was clearly a school. So I have very serious questions that I asked in the Armed Services Committee hearing this morning of our top generals, asking specifically, how was this location targeted? What tools were used? Was AI used? What is the oversight responsibility of commanders to make sure these sites aren't targeted?
Yeah, everything is coming on you devils, man. Here it is again. Any nation that builds power through violence, pride, and extorting other nations, your glory is not going to last long, man. It's turning into a shame now. And it's being broadcast live. Because you're a very prideful nation, and pride goes before destruction. And this is a warning from Yahweh Bahashim Abshah against arrogance, exploiting other nations, and your ego, and your wickedness, and your wicked nature that's in you, man. The Lord is coming back to visit this place, man. And we see it happening biblically, right before our eyes, man. So it's just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Abshah on the shameful spewing of this devil. Shalom.